tutorial on the disassembly and reassembly of the Mossberg 500. Before we start assembling any weapon, we need to make sure it is unloaded. First thing we're going to do is check in the magazine. Make sure our magazine has no rounds, which it does not. Next thing we want to do is check in our chamber. To check in our chamber, you want to depress the chamber or the slide release or the forearm release button. It is located right here by the trigger housing. Depress this button and pull your slide back. Check inside your chamber. Make sure the chamber is empty, which it is. So now we are ready to disassemble the Mossberg 500. First thing we will do is take off the barrel. To disassemble the barrel, you want to unscrew the barrel release nut. You want your slide to be about 2 to 3 inches from our receiver here. Unscrew the barrel, and the barrel slides right off. Next thing we want to do is take off our pistol grip or our buttstock right here. What we have here is a small Allen screw. Fits 1/4 inch. Take your Allen wrench, and you want to turn counterclockwise to unscrew the Allen screw. The grip, the pistol grip or the stock here will come right off. Next thing we're going to do is disassemble our trigger assembly. To do that, we have a small pin right here. This little pin can be disconnected from either side here. I'm going to use a small screwdriver. You can use a punch. Push the pin in, and the pin will pop right out. As the pin comes out, trigger assembly will simply fall right out. Inside here we have our cartridge interrupt and our cartridge stop. Cartridge interrupt just falls right out, same as the cartridge stop. Next we want to take off our bolt slide. Take off the bolt slide. Comes right out. We can lift, at this point, we can take off our forearm, or the slide. We lift our elevator, and out of the front, we can push the bolt right out of the front of it. Squeeze the elevator together, and it comes right out. And that's the basic disassembly of the Mossberg 500. To reassemble it, is pretty much everything in reverse. We take our elevator. Now, if you notice on the elevator, there are 2 pins right here. These 2 pins are going to go inside these 2 holes. Squeeze it together and pop it back into place. Once back in place, it moves freely up and down. Next, we're going to take the bolt. You want to go round its side. There's 2 little ears on it right here. They're going to face the front. Round it side down. It slides back into place. Take your thumb and just guide it onto the slide in here. Guide it into the rails. And once it's in place, it slides relatively easy. At this point, you want to take your forearm. Now, when you're putting the forearm back on, there is 2 holes right here at the front of the receiver. The forearm will slide right into there. Get it into place, just like that. Apply a little downward motion, a little downward pressure. Sorry about that. A little downward pressure, and it will slide right in. Now from here, you want to align the ends of those 2. There's a little groove right here. You want all that to line up. Take your bolts, get the hook of the back of the bolt about center, almost towards the back. So it looks as so. And you take your bolt slide, and it fits back together just like a puzzle in here. Put it back into place, and with your thumb, It'll just pop right back into place. It should slide really easily. Now with that back in place, you want to move it forward just a little bit. You want to take your cartridge stop, which is the larger of the two. There's a curvature at the end here. That's going to be faced in towards the gun. And it just rests right into place right here. Like a jigsaw puzzle. Fits perfectly. Second is going to be your cartridge interrupt. It has a little nipple on it right here, a little pin. And that's going to come through this little hole located right here. Pop back into place. As such. Now with that in place, you want to kind of hold them together because they fall out really easy. Take your trigger assembly, put it back in, holding your cartridge stop and your cartridge interrupt into place. It pops right back down. As your trigger assembly is back in place, you take your trigger assembly pin and it goes right back in that hole that you came out of. All that's secure. We're going to reinstall the pistol grip or the stock here. It fits back onto the butt of the receiver. Take your Allen wrench and simply reinsert the Allen screw in a clockwise motion. You don't want this awful tight. You just want it thumb tight. You don't want to take a chance in stripping it out and having taken it to a gunsmith to get it removed. Pull your forearm, again, just a few inches forward, maybe 2-3 inches. The barrel slides back into place, as such. And simply re-secure the barrel nut. There again, you just want it finger tight, nice and snug. Now, this is the Mossberg 500 reassembled. Now the test is to make sure you assemble it properly. You want to make sure that your safety is in the on position. This is your slide release. Go ahead and cock your Mossberg. And you want to pull the trigger, and the safety is doing what it's supposed to do. Release the safety. Pull the trigger. You should hear it fire. Keep your finger on the trigger. Cock it again, and you should hear another click when you release it. Put it back on safety, and it has been reassembled properly. And that is the disassemble and reassembly of the Mossberg 500.